नमस्कार, अस्सलाम वालेकुम, सत श्री अकाल और राम राम। मैं हूँ आपके होस्ट जॉशी रेड्डी और आप सभी का स्वागत है हमारे प्रोग्राम में। आप देख रहे हैं फिजियन फोकस अपना होस्ट जॉशी के साथ। हम इस प्रोग्राम को ला रहे हैं फ्रॉम ट्रेडिशनल अनसीडेड टेरिटोरीज ऑफ क्वालम, सिल्वरटूथ, कैट्सी और स्क्वामिश नेशंस. Ontario has reported its first measles death in a boy under 5 years old. Currently, about 15 other children are hospitalized with this disease. Measles deaths have been rare for a very long time, but this child who passed away was not vaccinated. It is crucial to check the vaccination records of all your children to ensure they have received the measles vaccine. This is a tragic reminder of the importance of vaccinations. Go Canucks Go is a fever in our city. Let's stampede behind our team and cheer for our home team. Go Canucks Go! अब हमारे साथ आई है अमित शर्मा जो पूरे हफ्ते के फिजी के न्यूज़ को लेके आई है। तो चलिए सुनते हैं। अमित जी, आपके स्वागत है।
और स्वागत है आप सभी को फिजी इन फोकस में। और मैं हूँ आपके साथी अमित शर्मा, लेकर आ गया हूँ फिजी का न्यूज़ हाईलाइट। और चलते हैं मई 14, 2024 145th एनिवर्सरी मनाया गया, जबकि आप जानते हैं कि पहले जहाज लियोनी दास आकर लगी थी फिजी में, जिसमें 463 ग्रेमिटियस फिजी आए थे। उसके बाद में 37 ईयर्स तक 86 और जहाज आए। कुल मिलाकर 60,090 ग्रेमिटियस को लेकर आए। ये सब ग्रेमिटियस खेतों में काम करने के लिए लाए गए। और ये कंपनी थी ऑस्ट्रेलियन कॉलोनियल शुगर रिफाइनरी कंपनी, जिसको CSR के नाम से जानते हैं। 1916 में गिरमिट सिस्टम जो है वो बंद कर दिया गया, जबकि इंडिया से फ्रीडम फाइटर्स जो थे, आप जानते हैं महात्मा गांधी, गोपाल कृष्णा, रेवरेंड CF एंड्रू और साथ में सरोजिनी नायडू। 10 अक्टूबर 1970 में फिजी को आज़ादी मिली और 14 मई 2024 गिरमिट सेलिब्रेशन लोटोका गिरमिट सेंटर पर मनाया गया। उधर फोमा अटॉर्नी जनरल सैयद कयूम ने कहा है कि फोमा प्राइम मिनिस्टर फ्रैंक बैनिमरामा कैद कर देना कोई भी बदलाव नहीं लाएगी और फोमा प्राइम मिनिस्टर अभी भी फिजी फेस्ट पार्टी के लीडर है और रहेंगे। फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर और डिप्टी प्राइम मिनिस्टर प्रोफेसर बिमन प्रसाद ने कहा है कि वो कानूनी कार्रवाई करेंगे ऑपोजिशन के रिनेश शर्मा पर, जिसने कहा है कि गवर्नमेंट ने 500,000 खर्च की है गिरमिट डे सेलिब्रेशन पर। बिमन प्रसाद का कहना है कि 125,000 स्पॉन्सरशिप से आया था और सरकार ने $255,308 खर्च की है। फिजी एयरवेज के मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर ने कंपनी का 2023 का परिणाम जो है वो पेश किया। 131.8 मिलियन का मुनाफा हुआ है। ये सबसे बड़ी 70 ईयर्स में के मुकाबले में है। और 2023 में जो भी नए सर्विसेज है उन पर भी उन्होंने चर्चा किया। नराई आइलैंड के रुसियाते दांगिनाई वालू ने 2019 में नेशनल ट्री प्लांटिंग प्रोग्राम के अंतर्गत 300 मिलियन चंदन के पेड़ लगाए। और दंगनवानों ने कहा कि अभी भी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फॉरेस्ट्री ने उनको 40,000 जो पैसा था वो नहीं पे किया है। मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फॉरेस्ट्री सेक्रेटरी रोवेतो नंगिदावालू ने कहा है कि वो अपने मिनिस्ट्री से इस पर ध्यान देने की बातें करेंगे। चलते हैं बनवालेवू, जहां पर माउंट कासी के जो लैंड ओनर्स है चाहते हैं कि ऑस्ट्रेलियन कंपनी आकर माइनिंग करे, ना कि वातुकोला गोल्ड माइन। ज़मींदारों का कहना है कि वो वातुकोला गोल्ड माइन को अपने ज़मीन पर नहीं स्वागत करेगी। ज़मींदारों का ये भी कहना है कि उनकी पास ये पूरा अधिकार है कि वो किसी को काम करने की इजाज़त दे। आशा करते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट जल्द से जल्द लाइसेंस इशू करे।
आपके बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अमित जी।
क्या आप अपना ड्रीम होम खरीदना चाहते हो या अपने घर से पैसे निकालकर अपने किचन या अपने घर को रेनोवेट करना चाहते हो, लेकिन बैंक्स ने आपको मना कर दिया है? आप मुझे कॉल कर सकते हैं, यानी विक प्रसाद को। मैं एक इंडिपेंडेंट मॉर्गेज ब्रोकर हूं जो कई बैंक्स और क्रेडिट यूनियंस और प्राइवेट लेंडर्स के साथ काम करता हूं।
For more information, please call Vic Prasad at 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is one of the top brokers of Invest Craft Mortgages and is also a member of the Canadian Mortgage Brokers Association of BC.
अब हम आपके देखिए kuch coverage from our Girmitiya Day, which was held at Surrey Public Library. Agar aap miss kar diya Girmitiya Day observations this year, we look forward to seeing you next year.
And the youngsters who are here, I don't think we can ever celebrate the system of indenture that enslaved our forefathers at the behest of the British Empire. They may have been shackled, their being may have been shackled, but their spirit, to use the word indomitable spirit, their spirit was never broken and never subdued. However, we must celebrate the legacy that they left behind for all of us. It was a legacy of perseverance, a legacy of struggle, of hardship, and it was all so that the future generations that's represented here will have a better life. I know that sometimes we're remiss about our history, but a history is the pillar and the foundation that cements us and our identity. Now, each one of us, and I know we've got a friend here from Guyana, and there may be Atisha's wife, may be an exception, but I know you're part of the Fijian diaspora just as much as anybody else. So each one of us, and Rubina, maybe a slight exception for you, each one of us is a consequence of that fateful, heartbreaking voyage of a vessel called Leonidas that left So it's a heartbreaking journey of a vessel called Leonidas that left the country of India for the shores of Fiji. Did you realize it was going to be this time? I'll be okay. And that journey was in 1879. And until 1916, the captivity and the deceit continued to exist as 60,000 Indians were transported under inhumane circumstances to Fiji. Akin to a large oak tree, it canopies over everything. Strong branches, lush green leaves, fruits, seeds. That's us, what we can see, the surface, and it's beautiful. But our forefathers are underground. The root spreads far and wide. Special guests here tonight. Can you come here? Yes. Can you come here? So what's your name?
Here.
Here. And how old are you?
5.
5. Isn't that wonderful? And where do you get the shirt from?
Fiji.
Fiji. All right. How about that? Thank you, kid. And what's your name? And how old are you?
7.
7. Where are your grandparents from? Very nice. And what's your name? How old are you? 9.5. That half's really important. Right? Have you been to Fiji? And how was it? Yeah. Tell me one thing you loved about Fiji. Food. There we go. Take your seat. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
And although recruits were only shackled for 5 to 10 years of servitude rather than a lifetime, plantation owners still did everything they could to ensure that Kirmitias completed their agreements, retaining as little as possible. It was common not to be paid or to be jailed for trivial offenses. Overtasking was also commonplace. Kirmitias often didn't complete a full day's task and thus were never paid like they were agreed, and their food rations only lasted 4 to 5 days, leaving them starving for the rest of the week. Many suffered from a number of illnesses due to poor food, lack of nutrients, and improper sanitation. This led to an absence of work, which led to reduced pay, and the cycle of oppression continued. Infant mortality rates were unusually high, 84 deaths for 1,000 babies. Many died due to disease, improper feeding, poor sanitation, and the inability of mothers to properly care for their children while being forced to work in the fields. Imagine the stories of mothers returning from work to find their babies dead due to neglect throughout the day. Kirmitia barracks, or the coolie lines, were 10-foot by 7-foot cells with a door, no windows, a dirt floor, and walls that did not reach to the top. There were no privacy. Each cell housed 3 single males or a family of 4. And for the duration of their agreement, this was a Kirmitia's kitchen, their living room, their bedroom, and their storehouse for their worldly possessions. Life was miserable in the coolie lines, and life was crowded, dirty, and ugly. The indentured system gave plantation overseers no leverage. You see, weak workers couldn't be fired, and strong workers couldn't be promoted. So overseers used persistent bullying, humiliation, mental and physical violence to establish superiority. Kirmitias were beaten like animals and whipped in front of their children. So just think about that. What are we going to do, brother? We have to go to work. The overseer tells us we have an agreement. The indentured agreement was like a noose around their necks, and these poor Kirmitias couldn't even pronounce the word properly. Agreement turned into girmit, a dirty word used to describe the atrocities of indentured labor in Fiji. Many Kirmitias succumbed to the hardships of girmit. Some killed overseers with little care about their ensuing actions. On average, more suicides occurred in Fiji than in any other British colony at the time. And many other Kirmitias were killed or murdered simply because there was less female Kirmitias in Fiji than there was males, at a ratio of about 3 to 1. There was a major cause of frequent violence, depression, and homesickness. Women's moral values were constantly under assault. The coolie lines gave little privacy, and marriages were constantly bombarded, and women were perpetually insecure. The anguish and emotional scarring of these poor people can never, ever be underestimated. The brutality of girmit broke the social lifeways that Kirmitias knew. The loss of their elders' collective knowledge and wisdom caused a vacuum with no rules, no penalties, and no methods of maintaining social accountability. Thus, old habits and patterns of thought, associations and understandings about the world, and Kiribitia's place in it were shaken and cast aside. But despite what colonizers did to the Kiribitia ancestors, they persevered. Despite being shipped to a land with no elders to look up to, no links to their homelands, these Kiribitias emerged like a phoenix from the hellfires of Kiribati.
हमारे पास कुछ public service announcements हैं. Please have your pen and paper ready. Coming Together for Mental Health will be held on May the 31st at Aria Banquet Hall in Surrey from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. For tickets and more information, please contact Kieran Tour at 778-320-6540. This month is South Asian Heritage Month. The government of BC is planning to build a South Asian museum in the Metro Vancouver area. Please go online and fill out the questionnaire and share your opinions. May 26th to June 1st is National Accessibility Week. During this time, we also celebrate Learning Disability Week, which raises awareness about what life is like for those with learning disabilities. A learning disability affects the way a person's brain functions, making it way challenging for them to learn, understand, and complete tasks. Show your support and be an ally to people with disabilities. If you are celebrating your loved one's birthday, you can send all the information with their photos to FijianFocus21@gmail.com. We'll share some highlights from the trade mission that took place last week, where they met with investors. Please have a look.
Bob Bindi, he says, Sashi, I just walk, I don't speak. I think the Bindi family is well known in Fiji. His cousin Vinod is the honorary consul in LA, and this family has long established roots in Fiji and investing a lot of money in Fiji as well. So I'm sure, Lika, you know Bob. But so Bob, do you want to say something? Babita, can Bob say something? So, the final gentleman I'm going to ask to say a few words, and he's got a small presentation for the Deputy PM, Honorable Manoa Kamikamida. This young man, I shouldn't say young man, he's not that young. He wasn't born in Fiji, but once again his lineage is so exceptional and so intense in Fiji. Tom is a motivational speaker. He's a #1 seller, author, and Tom is also involved in doing amazing motivational work, motivational speaking, etc. And in my TED Talks, yes. In my last conversation with him, he introduced something brilliant. I thought it was a brilliant concept, and he wasn't born in Fiji, and he's been to Fiji just once or twice, right, Tom? Yeah. So Tom's written a book, and Tom, I'll let you introduce the book.
Yeah.
No, I'll let you introduce the book, say a few words, and then do the presentation of the Honorable DPM.
All right, I'll just step this way.
Yes.
First of all, everybody give it up for the shirts, the delegate shirts, the Fiji shirts. I think we should do it. My father, Shaw Multicultural, passed away in 2018, and my mom and dad were born in Fiji, and my dad was the head of the Fiji Cattle Association for many years. It's an honor to be here, Deputy Prime Minister. I was saying in the car that nickname, Havika Mika Hami, how do I say that? To all the delegates, I've met many of you, I've had many of your cards, and I'll definitely be connecting with you. I grew up in Canada at the age of 6. My father was in the military, so I had a pretty good life. Went into business. I've worked in industry for most of my career, banking, insurance, telecommunications, mental health. About 7 years ago, I had an epiphany and I started my own company. I said, I think I want to teach people. So today I have a platform where I teach business people through coaching, workshops, training. I've authored 3 books and I do many other things. And the whole idea is I have a platform to bring people like you, your stories to life. I'm excited because the timing was just remarkable.
Yeah, it was.
My 3rd book is just being published May 1st. And I am going to dedicate this to your visit. Now I've done some research, seven, I understand you should be. My dad always said respect elders, so I thought, well, I don't have kava. But what I have here, Mano, is I have a book. But this is like no other book. This book is a coloring book. Just if I can show you. And the colored book, I'll show the audience.
It's called the Talanoa Way.
It's the only book in the world coloring book in the world that I know of. It's called the Talanoa Way, with pet pals coloring stories. The journey filled with furry, feathered, and finned friends. This book will teach skills. This book is being endorsed by a professor at a UK university, but I do want to just say to you,
it's good to use when I'm flying.
I will be 1 minute and finish. I feel I need to explain because I'm giving to one of the most honored, intelligent men in Fiji a coloring book. When I was a CEO, I used to travel. I used to orphan my daughter. My daughter was born, and I used to say I was a frequent flyer, not a frequent father. And so at that point, I thought one of the things I love to do is color. But no, how about we do this? We sit down with our children in the Talanoa way. We talk, they color. So this book is already released. It's available on Amazon. I gift it to you, sir.
Thank you. Hopefully you can come to Fiji and share some of
I will. So thank you.
Nice.
So we've referenced Fiji Canada Association. There are a number of organizations and associations representing the Fijian diaspora here. So we've talked about the Fiji Canada Association, and some of the speakers today, their parents were active members of the Fiji Canada Association, which I think probably was, if I'm mistaken, probably the first you did, and then they were all right. So we have Umendra Singh, who's here representing the Fiji Canada Association. If you want to just be brief, I know you don't have any presentations to make.
No, I don't have any presentation.
Do you want to say something like
and Shelley, and Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, and Jenny, and Alika, thank you very much for all your hard work. My name is Umendra Singh. I'm the owner, publisher of Asian Style newspaper. I'm a radio talk show host, but I'm here to talk about Fiji Canada Association. Some of you mentioned your parents founded this organization in 1968. 56 years it's been here continuously, even now. And we have a Fijian center. I think it's the only Fijian center in the whole world in Surrey, which hopefully we'll show you on Monday, as well as the Fiji Canada Multicultural Center, which is in Surrey North. It's a $10 million building that your parents started, and we founded that now. We're very proud of it. The Canadian government and the provincial government funds us and sanctions us because we have the vulnerable people, not only from Fiji but from other places as well. We hope to see you there on Monday, sir. Come and see us, and we'd like all of you as well to come and join Fiji Canada Association, which is the largest and longest serving Fiji organization outside of Fiji. Thank you for coming. Welcome.
Let's all have a good time. There's no time frame to go home. Just eat, drink, be merry. Bobby, do you want to wrap it up?
Sorry, before Bobby wraps up, what about you, Sashi? We want to hear your story.
Oh, yeah. My story?
Yes. You're a very important person in this story.
My story is this. My story is being still written by my wife. and these days, my primary focus is to be in the service of my wife. So
we know that's a lie.
So, just before we finish off and go to the next level of our evening tonight, again, thank you very much. It's been great. It's been great to listen to everyone's story. It's been great to meet some new friends. And I think that we're all going to leave here being better human beings. And I hope that we invest in Fiji and really, you know, I've known him, I've known his family, I've known his father, I've known his brothers forever. But we don't get a chance to do this, you know, and it needs someone to bring us together. And I'm learning stuff that I didn't know about people here. And so it's embarrassing. I should, but I don't. But I do now.
Knowing Rafa is not as important as knowing Sarita.
So, and then your dad, it's embarrassing because I went to Shaw Multicultural University. I'll end up with this story. It's a funny story. I went to Shaw Multicultural University. I was one of the only only Fijian that at that time went to that university, Shaw Multicultural. And your dad was a lab technician, and I was not a great kid. I was a naughty boy. So I used to make grog in the beaker. The grog in the beaker, they put it in the pipette and give it to all the white kids to drink. So your dad being a lab technician, it took him about a week or so, and then he came to me and says, "What are you doing? Are you making grog?" I said, "No, not me." He says, "Well, no, you're the only Fiji guy here." I'm making grog, right? So, I was busted.
Were you at least charging for the grog?
I was getting free sandwiches. But again, thank you very much, everyone.
For any kind of visa-related services, contact Milky Way Immigration, a galaxy of opportunities located at Unit 209-9547 152 Street, Surrey, BC. They have licensed immigration consultants, placement officers, and LMIA experts to meet your immigration and recruitment needs. Book one-time free consultation either on Facebook or by calling 604-396-0005.
Thank you. अब समय हो गया हमारे जाने के और आपके और हमारी मुलाकात फिर होगी next week. Keep watching Fijian Focus, Tuesdays at 10 p.m. and Thursdays at 2:30 p.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. and Alberta में at 5 p.m. Sponsorship के लिए please call कीजिए Camilla को at 604-537-5123. आप हमें भी कॉल कर सकते हैं, हमारे फोन नंबर क्रेडिट्स में दिया गया है. Before I leave, I will leave you with these thoughts. Life taught me not to complain about others. Change yourself if you want peace, because it's easier to protect your feet with slippers than to carpet the whole world. Author unknown. अपना और अपना फैमिली के ख्याल रखना. मैं हूँ आपके होस्ट जोशी रेड्डी. फिर मिलेंगे. तब तक के लिए विनाका और नमस्ते.